Hello, it's Toby from Heavywgt MMA. Today with Mitch from Australian MMA and Joel from Southern Cross Combat, talking about the big Perth card upcoming. We've got Della Maddalena versus Carlos the Nightmare Prates. What do you think about the show, bros?
Oh, it's great, mate. Cigarettes versus the bong.
Actual. The everlasting battle between the blunt versus the dart.
No, it's good, man. It's exciting. I was very lucky to be at the sort of media press conference-y thing, which was really, really cool. And just the political, like, how good is this? And it was cool. Like 3 Perth boys on the dais, like the city's really getting behind them. It's really cool.
You get the impression that Jack's pretty calm and collected when he talked to you about it, eh? Like he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's very he's just one of the most relaxed guys in the world. Like I've never heard anyone really go, hey, no excuses for my performance, and then just end the sentence. Like he literally was just like, no excuse. Normally it's no excuses, but my cat died. Like he was just like, nah. And I'm like, that's a guy that knows how to kind of get back on the horse.
True. Hey, are you okay, guys? Okay, if we start from the back to the front, I like talking about Dom and these guys first because they're the guys we talk to the most.
Yeah.
All right, we'll kick off first. Prelim lightweight Kody Steele versus Dom Marfan. What do you guys take straight up?
Oh, Jolie, do you want to stir this one up? Because I think Quillan Salkilld accidentally was training with Kody Steele without knowing.
I saw that. I saw you talk about that. So yeah, Kody Steele's a guy who, what's his record in the UFC now? He's fought in Oz before. It was a really good fight on, I think it was a Sydney card. I'm trying to remember what the media room looked like. That's how I differentiate these things.
Yeah.
He's like, which way were we facing when we asked the questions? He lost, but it was a really good fight. He lost to Rong Zhu, who fights out of CKB. But made his debut early last year in February, coming off a Contenders win as well to get there. And he's fighting Dom Marfan, which we know from the regional scene, a man who is, anytime you look at someone who, like, when they come off a loss, you go like, well, how good will that loss age? And the only losses on that man's record have aged incredibly well. And he went through the grinder of the road to UFC tournament, a man who, in his first fight, beat the number 1 seed of the road to UFC tournament. So you kind of just like steal the aura and you're like, now I'm the number 1. And he did it. And he went out there and he got the contract. And so he's now making his UFC debut out of Team Compton's.
But yeah, look, it's a big one though, Toby. You know a little bit about these boys as well. Like, I feel like, are you a big fan of Dom Marfan? But I feel like he is not getting thrown to he's getting thrown to the wolves, but I think they feel like he can hang with the wolf.
Yeah, man, I love Dom, man. I love his grappling. And I think for me with this one, Cody's a sharp puncher. He looks like he's a good wrestler. I think Dom, if he sticks to his strengths, he can take this one. But I think he needs to be a little bit careful. I chatted with him the other day, and my concern, being a fan of his, is that he might fall in love with the hands a bit too much, especially after his last fight. And Cody's got sharp, fast hands. He has a lot of knockouts. I want Dom to grind on him for a bit before he starts thinking about doing the stand-up. If you can grind on him, wear him out a little bit first, I think it'll be a better fight for him.
Yeah, also interesting as well because Quillan Salkilld obviously has fought Dom Marfan, trained with Kody Steele. I mean, yeah, it wasn't like fight camp or anything, but still. And everyone has been asking him who's better, and even me off camera, off the record, wouldn't give me nothing. So,
fucker. Anyway, my take is Dom wears him out either for a decision or a submission with a bit of damage on the way. What do you guys think?
I do think Dom Marfan's like severely underrated, even after winning a tournament. But at the same time, Kody Steele, I feel like he's that next level up in competition. If it is a Dom Marfan loss, I don't think it will be. But if it is, I don't think it hurts him too much. Like, I think Kody Steele's, like, it's a bit rough to kind of give him Kody Steele straight away. I think Dom Marfan can squeak out probably a victory, and it'll be a bit of a grind.
I could see, Dom utilizing that grappling particularly well. Like a look at Cody's tapology, they obviously have like the MMA stuff in there. He's also doing like heaps of grappling comps. He was in the first Fight Pass Invitational. And although there is a lot of wins in grappling comps on there, there's also like a fair amount of losses. He's not some like unstoppable grappling machine. There's some sub losses in there. We know how good Dom is on the ground. I think it'll just be getting it to the ground that will be kind of the biggest hurdle to jump.
When I was chatting with Dom, he mentioned that Kody was a combat jiu-jitsu world champion. So, yeah, I don't know. Yet to kind of see him, how good he is in that sort of respect on the ground. But, yeah, perhaps we'll see.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Dom Marfantu is probably one of the most – look, we all know how these chats go for us. It's just us gassing up the Aussies, but I'm all for it. Dom Marfan is just the most violent grappler. Like he's like that David Martinez wet blanket on you type thing, except he cuts you. And he's got a way to make if there was a first blood match in MMA, he'd win like 10 times out of 10. He is probably the most violent grappler I've seen in quite some time.
True. All right, so we all got Dom. That's a bit strange. Hey, all right, next one. Prelim again. Middleweight Cam Rowston versus Robert Bryczek, or I could be butchering his name. Something like Bryczek, the Terminator. He's a bit of a Terminator, I reckon. What do you guys think about this one?
Well, that's really cool. I'm really glad that I'm on your show, and then you have to handle the names, because that's actually part of the only reason I came on this show was if you handle all the names. Rowston, man, Rowston's been just tricking me this whole time. Like, I always known he was good. We never talk. I mean, Joel can probably like cut me off here too as well. But like, I don't think we ever talked about Rowston being this good on the regional scene. We were just like, yeah, he's pretty cool. He might get to the next level, but it wasn't like he's going to do what he's been doing.
I said to him post either his debut in like UFC debut or the second fight, I said, hey, man, I said to him, hey, man, I knew you were good, but I didn't know you were like this good. And that's not meaning because he's winning. I mean, when he was on the regional scene, he used his grappling incredibly well. The kind of thing about him was this guy's one king in the ring, but he likes the grappling. And so that's what he does. Stop it. He's what? 2 first-round KOs if we include contenders as a UFC level, and then a second-round KO. I'm like, bro, where was this? Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was, what was he, calf slicing 9 and 9 guys or something?
Yeah,
back
dude.
on the regional scene.
He was, he was flipping him like a clamshell cellular phone from that edit.
His confidence is just pumping as well, right? He's growing into like quite the rock and roll wrestling superstar with his post-fight speeches as well.
Yeah. Look, I love a good pre-rehearsed. Like, he even lets people know it's pre-rehearsed post-fight. Like, he's not trying to play it off like he's like, nah, it's off the top of my head. Nah, I'd never do that. He's like, yeah, I'm practicing. I mean, what did he say? I'm in post-fight interview fight camp as well. So he's like working on things.
Hey, so this guy, Bryczek, is like a dangerous dude. Strong, fast, mad hands. But from my perspective, when you look at the CKB guys, they're very, very technical. Like, their history, their lineage is all worked on very, very, very technical analysis of fights and how to stand up and fight people. And I think Bryczek is too one-dimensional, I feel. Anyway, I think with Cam's kicks, feints, range, and his versatility, I think he'll take this guy. He's just got to be careful of that, the punches getting knocked out.
Yeah, they're very high on. I know that they're very, very high on Cam as well. And I feel like if we ever had that UFC Tonight show or whatever we used to have when like Richie Vass and all those and Elvis Sinisic was on, that's what Cam Rowston would like prime to be. I'm not saying he's not going to fight for a belt or anything like that, but I feel like he is going to do more good for this sport when his career is done and he's speaking about it than he'll even do in his career, and he's going to have a hell of a career.
This is the first fight for Cam that I think it's interesting. You mentioned there, Mitch, about how the UFC is high on Cam. This is the first fight that I've felt for him in the UFC that's like, in giant quotations, I use this, he's the veteran in this fight. Like, his first fight was what? He made his UFC debut against Petrosky, and you're like, wow, they're giving you Petrosky on the debut. Yeah. And then they give him Brundage, who's had heaps of fights in the UFC. Like, wow, they're just giving this guy, like, they're shooting him up there. They're trying to get him like these veterans. And now it's a guy who's had, I think, 1 UFC before this. I'm like, damn. And just like that, you are now the more experienced guy.
The old guy.
And all that, yeah. And I feel like, although this, like when you look at Robert's record and there's that power there, like evidently heavy hands, knockout power, scary looking man. This to me kind of feels like the first fight I think they've given Cam where they're like style on him. The other one seemed a little bit more like, we're testing you. Okay, here's a veteran. Here's another veteran. All right, he's a new guy. Let's see what you can do against this. So I think it's really cool. And yeah, I think he'll do well.
He seems to have a bit of star power, right? Like I think he's going to grow into the role as long as he keeps getting these wins. I think he'll be pretty successful in terms of pulling the bit of the media and getting people interested in him. All right, so what are your predictions then?
Ooh, I watched some tape on
Bryczek. I think it's Bryczek.
Yep. And look, honestly, I think the Rowston train keeps going. I think we get a first, second round KO. Like I just think it's this sport is all about timing. Also, let us know in the comments how biased are we out of 100. But like I do think that just the Rowston has timed it perfectly. Like back when he was going to make the Contenders so many years ago, it just was like, you were kind of like, oh, is he like, we're not really that high on it. And he's just he's hit the time at the right moment. And I think all his skills are clicking. He's the right age. He's the right health, all that sort of stuff. So I think we're going to see another probably first, second round TKO by Rowston.
Joel?
I could see this being the first fight that he uses his grappling. I know he's such a fan of it. It's kind of, it's felt like in his other fights, I've hit my opponents with good enough shots that I didn't need to use the grappling. Like I hit him, and they went down. Sick. I could see him actually wanting to use the grappling in this fight and getting, probably a sub finish, maybe second round, like an RNC or something. Calf slicer would be nice though.
That'd be awesome. The thing with Bryczek as well, like I don't know if you guys watched him. He was a very different fighter when he fought what's his name, Potieria versus Tavares. Tavares, he was super aggressive moving forward, but when he fought Potieria, he was a bit more hesitant. Be interesting to see which version of him shows up against Cam. Yeah, trying to make a difference. If he's really aggressive, he might walk onto something. Otherwise, I think Cam will just school him if he's a bit standoffish. Anyway, I reckon probably KO as well, most likely. It's my pick. All right, moving on. Light heavyweight, Junior Tafa, Kevin Christian. What are your thoughts, guys? The Tafas are always questionable, right?
Mate, it's like the two Tafas, Junior, Justin, and Ty. You can be 0-7. I'll watch you fight forever. And it's very much like I pick a tougher fight with my heart, never like my head. I just think, how can you count out Junior? I just don't think you can ever count out Junior Tafa. You can hate on his grappling as much as you want. At the end of the day, he just has to flick from his hip and someone dies. Do I think he'll get the victory? Unfortunately, no, I don't. I think he'll get out decisioned. I just do. And I think he turns everyone into a grappler. And I think that's going to happen again. I think Junior, although he's got all the talent in the world and all that sort of stuff, I think his next claim to fame is going to be like a BKFC or an IBC, the international brawling. Like, I really do think they're going to be those toughers and that are going to be the faces of those sports. And I think those boys know that as well. There's going to be more money, more attention over there. And I just think he's rounding out his UFC contract until it's done. But I think, yeah, the fans don't love him, they don't respect him anymore type thing, which is so unfortunate. And yeah, I don't know. I don't see it going Junior's way, and I see him riding off into the sunset.
What do you think, Joel?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, I think Mitch put it perfectly with everyone turns into a grappler against the Tafas. That's what his last opponent, Billy, and also Kevin's last opponent, the same man, said in his post-fight. He's like, I stood with him for about, that fight ended in the second. He's like, I stood with him for about a round, and I was like, oh, not doing this anymore. And he shot. I remember he got cracked on the feet. And there is that, although the greater fan base, the worldwide fan base, I think does not respect the Tafas enough. In the arena, it's like a Tafa fight, and I mean this with the utmost respect, because everyone's just going to try to shoot on the guy. It's like the ultimate, not ultimate underdog, but it's like a fight gets to the feet and everyone's like, it might happen. Yeah. Like, this is our opportunity. When there are those kind of grappling exchanges, the crowd, when the toughers aren't fighting, people can be the worst pricks and shit talk people on Twitter and all that stuff. But when they are in the cage, you are watching.
Yeah.
And you are like, oh my God, it might happen. It's going to happen. And you start cheering because you can't not cheer for these guys because they just deliver you what you want to see when they provided the opportunity. But Kevin has very good grappling. He's got 5 wins by submission, 4 wins by KO. So who knows, maybe we do see some stuff on the feet. But when a guy's got, especially at light, heavy, and heavy, when he's got the route to victory via grappling, I think we all kind of know how he's going to try to take the win.
The fight that Tafa had against Elliott, I thought he looked pretty brilliant though. He was looking good, nice, super loose, right? I feel like he's really loosened up with his striking, very strong. Hurt Elliott a couple of times, right? Like pretty seriously in the early part. And I don't know, I kind of have these flashes in my head of Stefan Struve, Mark Hunt, knocking out the taller guy because he's quite tall, right? He's a tall guy. What is he? 6'7", this dude, Kevin Christian. Junior Tough is 6'3". This guy's got a heap of reach. I just can see him on the inside cracking him, man. Maybe I'm being hopeful, but I just want to see that. I want to see it get inside the range.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. We're all with you.
And no matter what anyone says, as I said, people can shit talk all they want, but people would prefer to see that. People want to see that over like, oh no, he masterclass in the grappling on the ground. No, bro, I want to see Tafa do a walk off, bro.
True. All right, so it's a tougher walk off. We're all decided. Next, middleweight Jacob Malkoun versus Gerald Meerschaert. I think we'll all probably feel that Malkoun's last performance was pretty brilliant, right? Fighting Torres Finney was pretty masterclass against a really good grappler, good fighter. I can't see him losing. What do you guys think?
Nah, Malkoun's just really like starting to put it all together. Like I said, I will talk about guys being underrated. Malkoun is the most underappreciated fighter we have on the entire roster. Like I think he's an ADCC level grappler, like a Golden Gloves level boxer. He can mix it up with the best in the world. He trains with Rob Whittaker routinely through his title camps and everything. And just we're like, oh hey, yeah, cool. Like, it's just like, if you get him, like I said previously, like if you get him talking, you know him the right guy, you get him in the right environment, he's actually really, really funny as well. And I think we'll slowly get to hear that. But injuries have always been a bit of an issue as well at times. So look, I think Malkoun gets it done. I watched his opponent not in-depthly, but just enough. And yeah, I think Malkoun's going to start to string a few together.
I agree. I think in that last fight, Jacob really got to show off his hands, and he seemed like, I don't remember if he talked about this in the post fight or if it's just something that I'm armchair psychologist being like, I can see it, but he seemed like he had heaps of fun. Like when he came backstage after the win and was on the desk, he was like cracking jokes and having a laugh. Like, I remember Paddy asked him, like, how did it feel to be the taller fighter for once? And he's like, oh my God, it was incredible. I've never done that before. Like, he just seemed, for a man who every time I've seen him seems so serious and obviously takes fighting seriously, he seemed kind of like a little bit freer of some weight there, maybe just enjoying it. And I think that led to a better performance, like a great performance against Torres. And yeah, I think I could see him recreating that, maybe in a similar style of the like, we don't engage as much on the wrestling, but I just utilize my wrestling to keep you on the feet, to kind of pick you apart. Meerschaert's not in a fantastic place right now. He's on 4 in a row losing, last one being a sub, the one before that being a TKO. So he's going to be, like, a lot of pressure is going to be on Meerschaert, and I just don't think Jacob's going to feel kind of that pressure, and I think he goes in there and just has fun.
I think the fights we talked about so far, this has been the biggest lock, right? And I guess the odds will probably represent that, but I reckon Jacob will take this one pretty easy. I'm thinking a KO either standing if they cancel each other out from the grappling side, or maybe he might ground and pound him. Meerschaert might take a good shot and fall to his back and get ground and pounded out, but I think KO for Malkoun. What do you guys think?
I was trying to see if there actually were odds on it yet. There is not, but yeah, I would agree. I think he's going to be the shortest favorite as well. I reckon $1.16. There you go. Take that to the bank.
I reckon.
We're not doing fight predictions. We're doing market predictions.
Do you guys put any bets on for the fights out of interest?
Yeah, but I routinely know that I'm betting with my heart, not my head. So it's always like I'll bet all the Aussies, right? Or if I don't think an Aussie will win, I just won't bet on that fight because I don't want to celebrate like the downfall of it. But like even like I really thought Tafa was going to walk through Israel Adesanya, not walk through, sorry, but just beat him. And my heart was like, bet your mortgage on it, Adesanya. Like it's just the way like my brain wants to work. Like I really want to like ride or die with these guys. But I don't like the worst thing I do in the world is betting on fights because you know the guy and you're like, oh, I had a chat to him and I know he got married, so he'll be happy now. Like it's like you know these like stupid details that don't matter.
Yeah. Like this will affect the fight. It has to affect the outcome. What do you mean it doesn't have anything to do with it? What's the point of any of this if it doesn't have anything to do with it?
I saw in his story the other day he had pad thai, so he's obviously like doing well. You know what I mean? It's just like unrelated facts.
I had a parlay on Bulk and Bear, Izzy and what's his name? Navajo, yeah. And thank God I pulled it out early because I was just betting with my heart for sure.
Yeah. Nah, actually Bulk and Bear I did. And I never bet that short. I think it was like $2.15 or something for a KO. And I was like, I put like $100 on it because I was like, there's no way this man isn't walking through the majority of the heavyweight division. And he was a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, true. All right, let's move on. Steve Erceg versus Tim Elliott. Interesting one. A crafty old veteran versus pretty much a rising star, someone who's kind of at his peak right now. What do you guys think about this fight?
Oh, I think Erceg beats Elliott in his prime. That is right. I might have to be in the same room as Elliott at some point in time. But I think Erceg gets it done. First round rear naked choke. I think Erceg is the definition of a career roller coaster. Here's a guy that came out 3 wins in a row, fighting for the belt, 3 losses in a row, gets a win back. And when I spoke to him, like I don't plug many of my interviews, but like go listen to the one where I talked to Steve Erceg at the UFC Perth press conference. I've never seen that guy because we all know Erceg as being like, you know, Steve Carell from The Office. Like he's just like chill. But like, mate, he sounds psychotic. Like the way he's like cold. And I was just like, oh, kind of like, what can we expect? And he was like, less respect for my opponents.
That's
and then
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and then he came back to reality a bit and he was like, oh, yeah, you know, because there's always a bit of respect. And I was like, no, there is some death and anger in there.
Oh, exactly what I was thinking. Before you started talking, I was just thinking when I was chatting to him the other day, exactly the same thing. He's coming across as super cold, man, like focused cold. The word in my mind was serial killer, man. That's right. And it's exactly what you said. He doesn't want to have respect for anyone anymore. He feels like that was his demise in a couple of those fights, that he built the people up too much. So I think Tim Elliott might suffer from that he's had these losses and he wants to get it back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the real Steve. Steve was my first interview once I kind of started writing for websites and stuff. He was the first guy I spoke to. It was his last fight it was his last Eternal fight before he got signed. So, like, I've been talking to Steve the whole time. Like, you get to know kind of who someone is over the years. When he became like and we're going to sell the shirts and it's like I'm Steve from The Office. I'm like, nah, bro. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean I'm like, you would prefer to be like murdering someone. And you're like, but I'll wear a funny t-shirt instead. That's my angle.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that because I think I spoke to him maybe the second last fight of Eternal. And
yes.
I reckon I can go find it. And he's like fucking angry that people are like overlooking him. Like he's like, there's that. And and now you mention that, it takes me back to that. There is this like little angry, psychotic man in there. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I remember that. I think it was that fight, the one that you're talking about. Was it the one before he got signed? He subbed the guy super quick. It was the end of the night. It was the main event. It was in Perth. And he was literally just on the mic afterwards. And very rarely do kind of people say this. He's like, I'm getting signed. I'm going away. I think he told, who was the guy who was meant to fight the first time on Contenders? I could Google it, but we'll just say that guy. He said, immigration can't save you. I'm coming for you. And it's like, bro, where did that come from? What? And then, talking about that respect, I think yeah, the Moreno fight, like, I think Steve could have won that fight. I just think maybe there was a little bit, maybe too much respect for Moreno. I think there was opportunities in that fight for him to really pull away and do well. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And I think, yeah, based on the interviews I've seen, what you guys say, I think he's figured that out. And he's like, oh yeah, I don't have to kind of be nice to these guys.
So all his confidence aside, how does he take Tim Elliott out then?
First round rear naked choke. I just think he cracks him and finishes him.
Yeah, there is 6 career losses via sub for Tim Elliott. Although I do like Erceg on the feet, and he had that big knockout early on in his career. He's a very slick grappler. He uses grappling incredibly effectively. The old RNC.
Nice. I kind of see him piecing it up a bit with standing. If he can establish that range, because Tim seems, let me see, he's a little bit shorter, a little bit less reach. I feel like Steve on the outside works pretty nice with his hands, especially those early fights in the UFC. I think he takes him out a bit with the standing, and yeah, I think points decision by way of stand up. But yeah, we'll see. I think Elliott seems to be dangerous, man, in the grapple. We'll see how they go. But the first exchange will tell whether Steve wants to stay in the grapple with him or not. Yeah. Cool. All right, next, Tuivasa versus Sharaf. Thoughts on this fight? We need Ty to get a win. We need him to get a win. And this looks like this guy might be made for that though, right?
Yeah, look, man, like I said, chatted to Ty literally a couple of days ago. Seemed relatively stoned, but in like a good way. Like in like I'm like, I train, I go home, I center myself, I go back, I train. He was getting work in with Della, Jack Della's brother, who's an absolute magician. And yeah, I just think, and I talked to him, and he was going to fight regardless. Like I always knew this. Like even if he did get cut from the UFC, he was going to go and fight somewhere else. Like he'd fight in the PFL. He's still young. He's 33. He's got ages left if he wants to keep going. I think he's being a bit more like, not just serious, but he's just kind of going like, I got to be smarter. Like I've almost made my money from swanging and banging and drinking from shoes. And that still kind of is who he is. But he wants to be like smarter about it. And the way he was talking to me, he was very like, he's thought about this and he's going to be a little bit more deliberate in it all. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Sean Sharaf, not the biggest grappler in the world. So I would imagine that we are going to get some swanging and banging.
Yeah, that's what we need, bro. That last fight he had was awesome. He nearly took the guy out in the 3rd round, which is what we want. We want to see these big punches. We want to see him hurt someone. I think Sean's made for it. So let's go, Ty. Let's take this fucker out. I want to see a big KO from Ty. Get him back in the mix.
The thing about Ty's 3rd round against Taliesin was like, the thing I saw on the internet and stuff was like, did that 3rd round save him? Because there's like a photo of them when they're sitting against the cage. Like Hunter Campbell's in the background of that photo, and he's like, biggest grin on his face. He's like, yeah. And yeah, he's coming in against a guy who is 0-2 in the UFC from getting KO'd. And before that, it's all just KOing people. In the amateurs, he was KOing people. Like, yeah, it's a stand and bang matchup. It kind of does what it says on the tin a little bit, you know. I think we all maybe kind of know what this is.
Yeah,
so you reckon it's to get him a win? You reckon it's a lob?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's to get someone a win, because they're 0-2 in the UFC and 0-7 in his last 7.
Jesus, they just want to set up right. I think they want Ty to stay. He's a bit of star power, especially fighting at home. At least give him a good stand and bang fight. He can still stay even if he loses.
Yeah. Well, I think that 3rd round shows that Ty still wants it. Like what you were talking about, Tinley, about like he wants to fight. He still wants to fight.
He's like Conor McGregor, bigger than the sport. Tuivasa, in a way, and hang with me, bigger than the sport. Like he is a pub brawler if nothing else. Like as in like you will watch him stand and bang. He is 6-7 fights that he's lost in a row. Most people, that's getting cut twice from the UFC, and then again from the PFL. Like that's 3 getting cuts in a row. Like, and he's still there. That shows you how good he is, like how entertaining he is, how funny he is to watch. Like people shit on that Taliesin fight, And yeah, they looked exhausted, but like it was that fun kind of exhausted. It was that like two old blokes swinging it out at a pub and you're still watching and you're like, oh, he's got him. And it's like the thing that you said earlier about Junior Tafa, like it becomes this game of like, oh, he took him down. Oh, they're on his feet. Now that's going to happen. And that's the same thing with Tuivasa. Tuivasa's got that same sort of, he's got the Conor McGregor hype in his hand. So like when he like lands the shot, you forget everything. Like Hunter Campbell, smartest man in the world, lawyer, all that sort of shit. And he's just like, yay, two dudes punching. Like we all do it. We forget the sport. Fuck the sport. It's just stand and bang. And then even if he loses. And I think what's going to end up happening is the UFC will be like, Ty, look, you've lost 12 in a row. Like we love you. But we're hurting the sport like by keeping you. But we're going to pay you on the sly to fight privately for us in the boardroom. Like it doesn't, you're going to have to cut him at some stage. But look, I think this fight is going to be, I do think it's do or die to sort of circle back to it. He has to win this fight.
I reckon these guys, the UFC should switch it over to something like ONE FC where they have like different codes on the same show.
Yeah.
So they switch the tie and that, and they say this is no grappling this fight. You know, it's just say MMA but no ground fighting. You know,
well, don't they have that in the video game?
I was gonna say in the game, it's like we're doing standard bang rules.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just they agreed to it beforehand, and the referee knows the rules, and then the Tafas and the Tuivasas of Australia and New Zealand just stand and bang. Ready to go. All right, moving on. Lightweight Beneil Dariush versus Quillan Salkilld. My take on this one is it's maybe more competitive than some people will think. I think Salkilld and Dariush have some similarities in their grappling style and their grappling strengths. Stand up, I would say Quillan's a lot faster and he's a lot sharper, being quite a bit younger as well, 10 years younger. So I think Quillan's probably got it, but it'd be interesting to see in the grapple how it goes.
Did you pick Malaki last fight?
Well, he's my hometown guy. I would never go against him.
No, it's smart. It's smart. I like the loyalty. But no, Salkilld strap a rocket to him, mate. I don't. I've been Salkilld hyped for quite some time. I think he Nasrat's Dariush. I know I've just lost all my credibility there, and Dariush is going to want to punch me in the head. But I don't know. I don't like. Do I think? Say the next fight, right? I really do think it'll be like almost like a Paddy Pimblett or something. Like it'll be like a massive, right? I think that's when we'll start to see, not a plateau, but that's when we'll start to see you rule back and forth, like pinpoint, oh, he edged him, oh, he got the finish. But where I still feel like this is part of the launch. Like I feel like he's going to get one more massive stoppage, finish, maybe even like the Malaki thing where he just kind of, and not disrespectfully, but like it's almost like he manhandled him and kind of gets the finish, right? I think we're going to still see that against Dariush. And then I think then we start to just go, all right, Quillan, you're top 10, top 5. And then we don't know where to from there. But yeah, I do think it's going to be an amazing sort of another first round coming out party again, even though he's had like 5.
Joel?
You mentioned before, Mitch, when we were talking about this, where it's like we know what this video is. Like we know what it is. When I listen to like European guys talk about MMA and they give predictions and they just glaze the Europeans, I'm like, all right, we get it. And during this video, I'm like, we are correct. This will all happen. Honestly, like similarly, I could see it in the Nasrat comparison in that I could see the first bit of the first round being kind of very slow, like finding each other out. All right, this is a real guy now. Like this is ranking. And then I just think, as you mentioned before, Toby, he's 10 years younger. I think it's just like, all right. My hand moves faster than you do, bro. Bang. Like it'll just be like, look for the shot. There's the shot. Take the shot. Go home.
Yeah.
Jamie had some success in the grapple against the cage in the early part of that fight. And I would say that Dariush is far superior as a grappler compared to Jamie. So I actually think that given the chance, I'm very interested in seeing how they play off against each other because they've both got a grinding sort of pressure game. And who would take the advantage in that? But just the experience and the old man strength and whatnot for Dariush, I don't think he'll be as much of a pushover in the grapple as some of Quillan's previous opponents. That's the only question I have. If it stays on the outside, age, quickness, power, I think goes easily to Quillan. But just in the grapple, I'm interested to see how that plays out. Thoughts?
Are you still mad he beat you, boy?
Very mad. And I'm mad that I can't talk to Quillan anymore. Like I'm mad about that. But hey, what this happens is people get more popular.
Yeah, no, it is weird. Like before Joel goes into it in further detail, we all go through that a little bit where at some point in time you do have to pick like an Aussie fighter or something. Like I made a decision. Joel would know this one as well. I picked Joseph Luciano a long time ago against like Jono Mikhailov. I'd still don't live that one down. Like Jono still to this day is like, fuck you, man. And I'm like, nah, warranted.
I mentioned him before talking about Paddy Baines are squared up. I was talking to him somewhere recently and we were talking about Toby's interview style, about how Toby's like, you're a really good mind for the sport. You actually like really do a lot of like analytical research, find out what styles are like. And then I like to imagine you're like, let's get the boys together and we'll talk about the fights. And you're actually like breaking down other people's performances. And we're like, Quillan's unstoppable. He's the GOAT. He's the young GOAT. No one can touch him. Yeah, exactly. You don't get it. He's got all the aura. And you're like, no, but actually, what did he struggle with in that Jamie Malarkey fight? And where has he fallen short? We're like, it doesn't matter.
The mustache.
He could kill a man and we'd love him.
One false move and Jamie would have iced him.
Exactly, but we're all like, no.
Just joking. Yeah. So how's he going to take it? Did you guys say? You reckon he's a KO first round, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll go a bit conservative here. I'll go second round TKO.
But like the first 10 seconds of the second round.
Yeah, like as they walk out.
Yeah, conservative.
When they go to touch gloves.
Yeah.
Face offs at the weigh-ins.
At the weigh-ins, yeah, when they do the little like someone does a headbutt, like it gets him.
I'm gonna have to keep that in my repertoire, Nasratting people, you know.
Nasratting. We've turned it into he's got Nasratting.
Yeah, your name is now a verb.
All right, let's get to the final one. Jack Della Maddalena versus Carlos the Nightmare Prates. We've already kind of talked a bit. It's going to be a hard one to discuss because I feel like Jack's got this one in the bag as well. Just pressure. You know, Carlos doesn't like moving backwards very much. He likes to be on the front foot. That's when he does his best. And Jack's going to be moving forward and pressuring him the whole time. So how's he going to work on the retreat?
Yeah, I think the person that's got the toughest task in this fight is a pair of lungs. But I do think that Jack is just, I think he's too overall put together. Like Carlos is obviously you'd maybe say a better striker technically, I guess, because he's got more like weapons. But Jack, I think, is a better overall boxer, and he's dealt with guys like this before. Plus, he has that threat of the wrestling. Carlos's jiu-jitsu is not, I don't think, is any better than Jack's. But I just think Jack mixes it up better together. He's also like Carlos has beat some tough guys, don't get me wrong, but like Jack's coming off probably the worst defeat bar getting starched. Like to get just held down for 25 minutes. Like Jack knows this. Like he feels like not embarrassed, but it's just a bit like it's so frustrating for him. Could that then, you know, backfire because you're coming out at a guy that's so violent that you go, well, I got held down for 25 minutes. I'm almost taking the frustration of that fight out on you, come out too hard. But I just think Jack is too cool, calm, and collected to fall for that. I think we are going to see these podcasts are just, our credibility goes out the window. But look, I think we're going to see like Alden Bates, like Jack Della level, like highlight reel shit. I hope no one ever listens to me on this podcast. I'm just literally, I'm like their dad in the crowd. I'm like, that's my son. Like that's me with these boys. But honestly, I feel like it's going to get Jack. And I think his coach, Benny Vickers, said it when he was chatting to Submission Radio that they do think like a highlight reel finish gets them right back for the title. And I don't blame them. It's going to be hard for Jack to get another shot at Islam after that. But I think Islam probably has 1 or 2 more fights and then bounces anyway. And I think Jack will definitely fight for the belt again. And then who's he looking at? Like Ian Gary, Shavkat, who he's not scared of or anything like Carl. Like there's a very high possibility he does become the champ again. But yeah, I'm thinking first round, highlight reel knockout.
Joel?
I think this is the battle of very, very, very high level, but also brutal strikers. I think Jack will be the better striker, but I don't see. I mean, it would nothing would shock me if Jack pulled off like the round 1 big highlight reel, but it also wouldn't shock me if this is a fight where at the end of the night we go, wow, Jack's really good at boxing, and Carlos Prates' head must really be really hard. Like, wow, that guy can really take a shot. Like, I see Jack pressuring Carlos forward. As you mentioned, he's not great going on the back foot, walking him down and just like unloading. And Carlos, like, I'm not going down, bro. Like, I'm eating a lot of shots. Like, almost a fight where you're like, oh my God, please, could we stop this, please? Because I don't want to. Almost like a what we all kind of felt about TKZ after the Volk fight. We're like, hey, bro, we get it. You're tough. But like your brain, like, please, oh my God. I see that happening in like the later rounds. Jack kind of pulling away with it. I think at the start, Prates will be starting on the front foot because he does not want to concede and go on the back foot. So I see like the first 3 rounds of this fight being like, oh my God, bro, these guys are slugging. And then Jack kind of pulls away with it. When you look at Prates' history, which of course, much like investment advice, it is not past experience is not indication of future experience. But the losses come from there's 3 sub losses, there's 2 TKO losses. One of those was like his shoulder got ripped out, so it's like kind of a TKO loss. I remember talking to Ben Vickers, must have been before either the Bilal fight or before the Islam fight, but he felt Prates just kind of gave up in the Ian Gary fight. I could see that being more of a war of attrition and kind of like mentally breaking someone than physically breaking someone.
Wow. Your comments were way more disrespectful.
I know, right? It's fine. I'll smoke a dart with him afterwards. It's fine. He still owes us. Remember, we gave him a dart the last time he fought. He was like, does anyone have a cigarette, please? They're so expensive here.
It's crazy. Hey, if you look at that Edwards fight, Leon kind of let Prates get his timing. You know, he took a while to get the timing before he landed that shot. I just don't think Jack's going to give him that luxury of sitting back and finding his own timing. It's just too much of a pressure fighter. I think he's going to take him out either KO or over the distance. I just don't think Carlos can set himself properly against Jack's style, you know, moving forward and switching and head movement. So we'll see.
Oh yeah. Also, and look, I mean, we talk about the weed smoking and cigarettes and how dangerous they are. Can we talk about Joel drinking a full sugar Red Bull?
Bro, I'm not an athlete. I can have full sugar. I only drink half of it though. I'll save the half for tomorrow.
I only have that for special circumstances when I really need to be fucking awake.
Mate, is this okay? I guess I'm the only guy who values this. This is a special circumstance. Okay, I'm trying to perform here. Okay.
I know, I was just thinking before we had this podcast, thinking people log into these ones to get tips on how to bet, right? And like you said, this is the most biased fucking podcast I ever listened to, probably. So if you listen to this point, go back and make your own decisions because we're just betting on everyone that's Australian, New Zealand.
Also, what I'll ask you, who do you think is left? I mean, we all obviously probably know certain things, but like, who do you think is left to be on the card? That's what I want to ask you, Toby. Who do you think will be on the card?
I've seen a few people put Colby Thickness as a potential. Those guys like to be on standby for things. Yeah, there's a lot of fights left to be added for sure. Well, who do you guys think? There was someone else, but I can't think.
I've heard as much as, and like once again, nothing like official or even from like people of value, but I've heard Jono Mikhailov, Jack Jenkins, Marwan Rahiki, and Colby Thickness.